we have the lowest infection rates in the country. The fitness industry has one of the lowest infection rates for COVID per 100,000. So in a survey done by UK Active, our governing body, they found that per 100,000 visits over the period of July to October 2020, there were just 0.35 cases of COVID, recorded COVID, per 100,000 cases. So that's roughly one infection per 300,000. If you compare that to what the infection rates are right now across Europe, you have somewhere in the region of 400 to 500 cases per 100,000 people in, say, countries like Germany and France and Spain, right? It's much higher than that on a national average in the UK than it is in our industry at the moment. So again, I'm pleading to our local authority, to our council leaders, to our MPs to stand by the precedent that was set by Lancashire Council, by Merseyside Council, by all of the councils who have kept the fitness industry, the fitness facilities open despite going into tier 3, because we're in tier 2 right now here in Yorkshire, and there is a big chance, a big risk that we will be upgraded to tier 3. So when that happens, the legislation, the guidelines say that it is basically down to the council, down to the local authority to decide whether the fitness facilities will stay open. So this is why I put out my official statement that I did somewhere below this video. But basically, the infection rates are so low in our area, in our industry. The infection isn't happening on the gym floor. It's not happening in the fitness studios or the fitness facilities. It's happening elsewhere. It's happening outside. And it's not a surprise that it's not happening in my industry because of the stringent, controlled environment that we have to run. You know, your QR checking before you come into any facility, any studio, any class. We have sessions outdoors, so that also lowers the risk. If you have any kind of symptoms, you're not coming to session in the first place to, one, protect yourself, and two, protect anyone else that you could potentially come into contact with. And then once you're into our facility, you've got to QR check in for track and trace. There's one-way system. There's anti-bac until it comes out your eyeballs. You've got your mask on. You've got your own designated training space. You've got your own designated kit. We've had to adapt so that we can continue to give the lifeline that is looking after your own health and fitness for the benefit of people's physical and, more importantly, mental health. Like so many people have said about how being able to continue to exercise has been a lifeline. It's as much about the physical aspect of just being able to move the body as it is about the social aspect of just seeing other people, of getting out of the house, of doing something that's going to give you that endorphin rush, because so many of us have had to, stare at the same four walls for however many months now. So having a gym, having a studio, having a class that you can continue to go to has been like that one thing. As I said about your toolkit yesterday, you have this one thing that is for you. You have this one thing that allows you to get out of the house and get away from everything that is going on. It also makes you feel better, and there is a risk that could be taken away from us, which is a risk I'd like to appeal to local authority again, and local council and members of parliament people like Rachel Maskell and councillors of the Health and Wellbeing Board in our local authority to consider the fact that our infection rates are so low. The controlled environment is such that we're so much safer than so many other places where people are congregating, not mixing, because we're not allowed to mix. Okay, there's still definitely social distancing, but congregating in terms of being in the same place at the same time, but still being socially distanced 2 to 3 meters at a time, and also to plead and appeal for you to consider the fact that it's about our long-term mental health that we also have to think about. Like, what is the long-term impact of all of this, of these past long months, right? We've been under these restrictions since March, and people are starting to get weary and tired, and we don't know what the long-term effects are going to be of this pandemic on mental health, on people's mental health, which has suffered because we're social animals. We are designed to move. We're not designed to stay still. We're not designed to lead sedentary lives. We're not designed, and we don't like not being able to move our bodies and do things with other people. Okay, so the infection rates, again, in our industry are so low. They're lower than anything that you can find out there in other environments. You know, they're lower than your restaurants and your schools and other events and locations where people get together. So much lower. So this is just a statement. It's just a restatement of the fact that keeping the fitness facilities open, even in tier 3, is vital, I think, for our community, for the people in our community, for their physical and mental well-being.